Hey YouTube, it's Jordan Birch here, home mechanic. Wanted to talk today about 2008 Lincoln Navigator IWE, the hub system with that's vacuum operated for the four-wheel drive. So what was going on with the vehicle? It was grinding, and there was sort of a disengage and engage sort of noise in like the front end when slowing down. The reason why is when you let off the gas, the vacuum in the system drops in a car, so the hubs had less vacuum to engage. Typically these systems will maybe go 7 to 12 years, 12 being really unheard of, 7 kind of on the younger end. They're basically plastic pieces of junk essentially, so everyone has the same problem. But what it is, it runs from the brake booster. Typically there's a line that comes out of there that provides the vacuum into the system. Then it goes to one end on the left and on the right side of the vehicle. Then it goes to a solenoid which can engage or disengage the hubs. So the solenoid has to be working, the check valve has to be working for everything to work. All those can be tested with just getting a vacuum gauge and putting it on the end, taking off the ends on the vacuum. You don't even have to lift the car up. You just turn the wheel, pull it out, put it in the bigger size hole, and you should be pulling about 19 inch-pounds of vacuum. If it's less than 9, I believe you have got a leak somewhere, and it's not going to engage, and it's going to cause maybe a clicking sound or a grinding kind of a noise. Then you can do it on the other side. Try the other side. And then you can test the hubs with a, I think it's called a vacuum gun. You put it on there and it pushes vacuum to that to see if it holds the same amount of pressure, 19 inch-pounds. Then you just let it sit there for a couple minutes, and if it slowly leaks, then there's a leak inside that IWE end. Then you got to change that. So you have to diagnose, then you can diagnose the solenoid, pull off the hoses there. Check if it's 19 or 20 inch-pounds on each of the hoses, and then you can check the check valve as well to see if it's working correctly. So there's a little vacuum tank that comes off the solenoid that can have a crack in it as well, but the system is pretty simple. I mean, it comes from the brake booster, so you can test the brake booster to see if it's getting it at the brake booster. And then I would test it at the ends on each side, and if you're getting 19 inch-pounds on each side when it's in 4x2, because when it pushes vacuum, it disengages the four-wheel drive. When it sucks, it disengages the four-wheel drive. When it engages the four-wheel drive, it has no vacuum, so then these IWE ends engage the four-wheel drive. It's kind of weird. So then there's like little rubber orifices in there that over time stuff gets in there, rust and all that, and they crack and dry out. So on in particular, this 2008 Lincoln Navigator had all those symptoms. I found a dealer somewhere in Ohio that sent me a part or whatever, and I put it on. I had zero vacuum at each side, and then I had zero. It wouldn't hold vacuum at each IWE. So I replaced the solenoid. It was like $20 initially, like way before I even diagnosed anything. I was like, whatever. Did the check valve, and there's like this little tubes that was $20 too, just in case. They looked kind of like they were old and rusty. So there's $40. Didn't fix the problem. No big deal. I got new tubes and stuff. It was probably gonna go bad anyway soon, because it's such a crappy design, to be honest. So then I got a vacuum gauge, tested each side. I had 0 pounds of vacuum when it was in 4x2. Okay. So I thought there was a leak in the lines, right? So I replaced all the lines, and then it went up to 5 or 7 inch-pounds, okay, on each side. And I thought, what is going on here? Well, come to find out, when I tested each of the IWE ends, it would not hold air or vacuum for the life of it, right? And so what I thought about was when I pulled off one side, I would put the other side on, and the other side would be leaking through the IWE. So I would get a low reading, and that's why I was getting a low reading on each side. So if you want to test the lines, you got to plug the other side, because both IWEs might be bad, and that's what my case was. So that's why it took me a while to figure this out. I was kind of like tricked. So then I replaced the IWEs. Everything's good. 20 inch-pounds. Everything's engaging. No more grinding. Four-wheel drive engages and disengages, and it works like a charm. It was easy to do the IWEs. The line took about an hour. It was just hard to snake it through. I suggest you start from the center, laying down, and then pushing it upwards on each side. That will probably make it a little bit easier for you. And I just used a pair of pliers to pull out the old ones. You can just push in the new ones. It's as easy as that. Then the IWEs took a little more work. Take off the wheels. You take off the upper ball joint, which was a pain. You might need a ball joint remover tool thing, because mine was kind of stuck and it wouldn't come. A hammer didn't even work. Then you're going to need, I think it's like a 10 millimeter to stop the ball joint bolt from moving, and the ball joint from just spinning there. And it's like 13/16, I believe, if I remember, was the bolt size. So that, and then there's the tie rod. You're going to have to remove that. And then on the CV axle, it's like, I don't remember the size at this point, but just a small little, nut on the end of it. You remove that. And then there's 3 bolts on the IWE that were, I don't know, 10 millimeter or something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers. Just remove those. And I was actually able to pull the knuckle when I got the top ball joint loose and the tie rod loose. I was able to pull the knuckle enough, and you got to kind of like pull it down to the right. Just keep trying pulling down to the left or to the right, and then holding it with your knee. Then you can kind of pull out the CV axle. It takes a couple tries, but it's not too hard. With that, but you gotta have the IWE loose, otherwise it won't come. So I loosened the IWE and it came right out. Put the new IWE in, and then kind of pushed it back in there the same way and put it all back together. Probably took me, let's see, an hour and a half to do both sides, maybe, without a lot of, I don't have all my shop right here where I'm living currently, so I have limited tools, but it was pretty manual. But it was not as hard as I expected, and totally worth it. Now I've got four-wheel drive again. I'm not hearing a grinding noise, and all is right with the world. So yeah, hit me up with questions or comments or concerns. Thank you. Hopefully this helps somebody. Bye.